Did you get the spelling?
Yeah, I know. How does Tuesday
T-A-T-E-L-L-A.
So that's a fancy way of saying day to day. Yeah.
All right, so Steph is day to day. How is Seth doing? We just got an update on him that he's progressing with his sciatica.
Yeah, he's doing better. Yeah, he's doing better. That's all I got for you.
How did today's film session go?
Good. Yeah, transition defense was terrible. Last 10 games, we're dead last in the league in transition. Obviously, those are relatively small sample size, but dead last is never a good thing. Yeah, that we had 3 or 4 just mind-boggling defensive transition possessions early in the game. You know, they scored 45 out of the gate. We let Duncan Robinson get going because of our, mismatches or miscommunication in transition. And then we ended up, swimming upstream the rest of the game. So that's an area where we've got to get better.
I think there were a couple Duncan Robinson early threes in transition, maybe a Stewart dunk. What was contributing to those?
Miscommunication, yeah, lack of focus, lack of urgency.
He's had a good stretch of games here coming off the bench. I know in the past you talked about he's a good, quick, short burst player. He's kind of playing.
About what? I'm sorry.
He's like a good, quick, short burst. He's good in short.
Who is?
Guy.
Guy. Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear the name. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. What's made him so effective in these? He's sort of playing these longer bursts now. What's made him so effective?
Guy has a great feel for the game. Good passer. He's got the soccer background, so he sees the court really well. Great cutter. Quick decision maker. So he's one of those guys. He just connects the game really well and brings great energy every time he's on the floor.
Draymond was not very happy with this technical foul yesterday. I was wondering if you had just talked to him about it or planned on bringing it up to the league at all.
No, I haven't talked to him about it. I don't even know what happened, and so it's I can't really comment on it.
You guys are, since Jimmy, the last 6 games, you guys are 25th in offensive rating. How much of that is just having to, trying to recover from losing a guy who was so important to what you guys do?
Well, what is that, 5 games, I guess, since 6? Yeah, so, he's one of the best players in the league, and we've changed a lot of things upon his arrival. We became very ISO-oriented in the non-Steph minutes, giving the ball to Jimmy, getting spaced. Everything changes now without Jimmy. So we're in that transition period where we have to adapt how we're playing, how we're attacking, how we're able to generate an advantage, and that was what today's offensive work was about.
And also bottom 5 and rebounding over those 6 games too. Is that effort? Is that timing? What are you seeing there?
Well, again, anytime you're talking about 5 or 6 games, small sample size, but. I think there has to be a sense of urgency, and I thought we really competed last night, the last 3 quarters, but the urgency to start the game, the attention to detail was not there, the focus, and without Jimmy, we have to be that much sharper with our execution and our energy, and I think those numbers that you're talking about are all indicators that we have to be on edge and ready to go right from the jump.
To follow on just readjusting offensively and figuring things out with Jimmy, how has that affected Steph's workload and just kind of the way he's been defended?
Well, I don't think he's played dramatically more minutes during that stretch, but he has had longer stretches, like last night he played the first 10 minutes, maybe 9.5, and then he started the second quarter. So, he's playing longer stretches, I would say. Some of that by design, some of it just because the subs couldn't get in for a couple of minutes. So it definitely puts a lot more stress on Steph's shoulders, not having Jimmy next to him to create shots, to take over the offense when needed. So we have to account for that. So, we're trying to do that through our lineup combinations, but we're also, thinking about alternative ways to attack, as we go.
And then to follow on that, I guess just with him dealing with this knee thing in the short term, even if it's not serious, how do you manage, I guess just big picture, the urgency to win games and also understanding the importance of his health, down the stretch here these last 30 games?
Yeah, I mean, you have to do both. I mean, that's the job, right? That's our job as a staff, as a team, mix and match the lineups. You have to include the performance staff in all these conversations. Rick and I had this exact conversation today. Everything changes daily. We're constantly talking with Steph, checking in with him, see how he's feeling. The knee last night was the same thing that kept him out of the Minnesota game last week. And I would imagine it's something that we have to really monitor here, especially before the All-Star break, where we've got to see if he can take on his usual workload, or does he need to miss a game here or there. That's something we all have to figure out.
Steve, did the defense, the way Asar Thompson defended Steph last night, did it feel even more physical or grabbing and holding than maybe even?
Well, Detroit's a great defensive team. They're one of the most athletic teams in the league. That's what they do. That's their style. And Thompson and his brother both are, just athletically as big and quick as any defenders Steph is going to see all year long. So a lot of teams try to guard Steph like that. Not all of them have the personnel to do so. But Detroit definitely did.
With that, though, I mean, I know Steph doesn't like to talk about it because he doesn't want to come across as a complainer. It just feels like sometimes with the fouling, with officiating, it's almost like the NFL, like what is a catch, what is a foul? Does that get a little confusing or convoluted? How do you ref or officiate Steph compared to other players almost?
Yeah, I mean, I think Steph is unique because of his off-ball game. I think our officials are most used to guarding pick and roll, certain actions. And so, the off-ball stuff, freedom of movement, it's a little trickier. So we try to point it out very politely.
How's my man doing?
He's doing better. I asked him last night after the game. He said he was feeling better. He got a workout in today before our practice. He's improving. He's getting closer to being able to play. I don't know what his status will be for Tuesday.